Thank you, Jason. Next, we have Jackie Red. Jackie is a Regents Fellows Professor of Wheat Breeding for Texas A&M Agri-Life in Amarillo. He has been a wheat breeder for the High Plains since 2001 and is primary breeder of 8 hard red spring wheat and 11 hard red winter wheat cultivars, including the TAM 204 that we used in this particular study. Jackie, thank you for.
All right, appreciate it, Glenn. So I'm a breeder, so we've got to talk about parentage here and where these things originated. But TAM 204 is a progeny of TAM 112. TAM 112, very popular dry land variety, but has good pest resistance. And it was actually released in 2005. And at one time, it was up to over 1 million acres per year. TAM 112 was. In addition to TAM 112, this TAM 204 has a lot of traits, the protection traits that are in the wild relative. It's called Agelopstacii, but it's one of the genomes of wheat. And it's very related to jointed goat grass. So it's a lot of fun to go from something wild that you see there and to move it into wheat and still get something that's extremely valuable. So that diversity, the genetic diversity that we have, and is very, very good. So, all right, let's go to the next slide. And the TAM 204 was actually released in 2014 and licensed to Watley Seed Company. Watley is a small company in Spearman, but he has associates all throughout Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas. And back in just this last fall, there was over 250,000 acres of TAM 204 planted. It is by far the most popular awnless wheat or beardless wheat that we have. We have close to 30 locations a year that we test at. And we do forage trials as well as grain trials. And so we have any new variety that comes out goes through at least 5 years of testing at multiple locations throughout the region. And we really know what we have when we put our stamp on it, which is TAM, Texas A&M, and it becomes a variety. We have a lot of experience with it. We have a lot of data for it for a lot of different locations. So very good grain yield, forage yield. One of the key things, and Jason talked about it, is that it does have grain yield and forage yield. And so that use of a dual purpose program is very important. What that really means is, I know you're all very familiar with it, but you can graze this wheat up until mid-February, late February, and at that point you remove the cattle. You pull them off when right before the wheat starts to go reproductive, and you can still get a full grain crop on it at the same time. The protection traits, I think, is something that's very, very important for this, and it really sets it apart from other awnless wheats, and certainly a lot of the older awnless wheats that have been growing and been used for decades. Is this green bug resistance, wheat curl mite resistance, ash and fly resistance. Those things are especially bad for early planting, and early planting is what you need for the forage production. So that it's helped it out a lot because of those reasons. It also has good leaf resistance, stem rust and leaf rust and stripe rust, and virus resistance on soil-borne mosaic as wheat streak mosaic. That's part of what the wheat curl mite does. Wheat curl mite is a vector to several viruses, including wheat streak mosaic virus. One other thing I'll point out while we're on this slide is the Watley Seed Company, their email address is on there. So that gives you a contact there to go and find out where you'll be able to find seed off that. All right, next slide. This is actually production field in the seed production field down in Brady, Texas. The primary areas of adaptation for TAM 204 is more the Panhandle, but it goes on down to Abilene, Brady, San Angelo to the south. We've had it test quite a bit at never had it at Clayton, but has been at Clovis trials, and so it's the High Plains, the southern High Plains, I think is probably the best area of adaptation. Early planting is fine. Typically, we plant it like we do with our grain types, early October, and we do have some grazing trials as well as the grain trials. So pretty diverse set that we go through there. I'm not going to spend a lot more time, I don't think, because we're going to have the breakout session. We can ask you questions, but feel free to contact me at any time, and I'd be glad to give you more information. Glenn, by the way, I've never been to your center there at Clayton, so I'm looking forward to what I want to see the wheat there in the ground. I'll certainly come over this fall and certainly next spring too. I hope to.
Yeah, we hope that you can come up. We're excited about planting, and especially if we haven't grown much up in this area, because we have quite a few irrigated pastures around here. So appreciate all your information and participating.